Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank, another round of comic chat, and our little, because I'm really having fun with this, our little Funko today, actually it's not a little Funko, is Exodia, the Forbidden One. This was, why did I get this from? Well, I know why I got it. It was on sale, so I was like, yeah, let's get it. Hard time. This is also a little reference to the fact that I have not forgotten about that little project we're supposed to do. Yep, haven't forgotten. Haven't forgotten. We've actually recorded our opener for that, so expect that before the year's out. Before the year's out. As a matter of fact, I've got like 3 projects that are supposed to be due before the year's out. So yeah, we're gonna get on that. I promise. But yeah, Exodia. Yeah, love it. Love it. Love that troll face right there. Love it. That's right. Who's ended games? Who's ended games? Who's a BS pull in the first story? Yeah, well, the first main anime story. Whole other thing. So anyway, we've got 3 books today, as is our standard, and our first one is, well, Justice Society of America, issue 6 by Jeff Johns. So, if you recall, we last left off with this story here. We defeated Perdegadon, our time-traveling Nazi, which is really frightening either way, which isn't the first time it's happened in the JSA story. Well, at least messing with timelines involving Nazis, I think it's just the default story for Nazis. It's either you defeat them in World War II, or they've taken off a horrible future, or they're trying to create a future, as we see now. But anyway, here we are with the JSA. And this last issue ended with Courtney and our man coming in with Judy Garrick. And Judy saw Jay saw Judy, and I was like, you know what, this all might be worth it. So anyway, we come in to it. Courtney talks about, hey, our 2 books are finally really coming together. Yeah, my Lost Children story along with the JSA story with Huntress being a background character here, and me coming up with this Lost Generation sidekicks, we're all in all together, and all that matters is Judy and Jay Garrick hugging. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care anything else that goes through here. The second I saw Judy Garrick and that she was Jay Garrick's daughter, I'm like, he does not realize he has a daughter. Which seems to be happening a lot with speedsters since DC Rebirth started. I wonder if this was Jeff Johns' plan to begin with. But anyway, probably, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, so they go in, they hug, it's great. There's mentioned how, like, the timelines kind of worked here, that, you know, her origin, how she was created by villains trying to sort of recreate the experiment that made made Jay Garrick a speedster. And, yeah, they're so happy. They move so fast to go through. And Jay's like, he's got, like, a tear in his eyes there, running so fast, like, let's go see your mom. I'm like, oh, that means she's just remembered, too. This is like Kingdom Hearts 2. We're like, all of a sudden, to everyone that knows Sora, he'll be a friend that was just away for a year. Unless you're Sora's parents, in which case, the last thing you heard about Sora, you were calling him for dinner. He never showed up. And now your child's been missing for a year. And, yeah, weird. Anyway, so, this is sort of the theme we're going on here. Bruce Wayne is not quite dealing with the fact that his daughter is here. His daughter from the future is here. Like, so you can't stay in Gotham City. There's just too much going on in my life right now. Somehow I have enough money to put you up in a lovely penthouse. And, yes, this is where we're going to be for now, while we try to figure out what we're going to do here. And she's like, she doesn't quite know what to do. Part of her wants to go to Gotham City. But the problem is she knows exactly what's going on at this time, i.e. Gotham War. She's like, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of somehow you taking Mom back for being a horrible person. But anyway, so, meanwhile, our real heroes in this story, Alan Scott, you know, the first Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, the second Mr. Terrific, Michael Holt, and this is the third Hour Man, who I am nowhere near familiar with. Anyway, they're like, okay, so we got all these kids. Whole generation of sidekicks gone. For example, this Quiz kid, he's the first Mr. Terrific sidekick. So what are we going to do with him? Alright, so anyway, for some of them, it's sort of different. Like Salem Girl, is trying to deal with the fact that there's a new Dr. Fate. And she's like, so, what do you do? What happened? Why do you look like you suck at this? Alright, well, I think you're like, look, I have as much as a successful book as every other Dr. Fate before me. Alright, it was out, then it wasn't. I show up on teen books. I kind of matter. I kind of don't. Pretty much, I'm part of the course with Dr. Fate throughout the years. He points out all the other Dr. Fates. It's kind of weird, kind of not. I don't think he actually mentions Justice League Dark and the fact that they had to rework the Fate artifacts in that story because Nabu went rogue. And she's like, well, surely you know about me and my broom companion. He's like, no. Well, that might have been, what, the first Kent Nelson? Look, I knew the second Kent Nelson, who was like my great-uncle. Alright, so I don't know about you. And she points out that one of the big issues was that she was cursed, and everyone that's around her that invests in her dies. And her Dr. Fate was trying to figure out a way to fix that. And so now she's a bit more jaded about it, like, well, so, yeah, you won't be able to fix it. No one can fix it. And he's like, well, no, I'm sure I can. She's like, yeah, whatever, no. So this looks like a fun dynamic. I expect that book. Anyway, so they go through, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's like, okay, this could be fun. A fun friendship. Maybe something else. Like, no one's going to really pay attention to Khalid's actual social life, alright, from that first run. No, it's done. So, meanwhile, we've got other characters trying to work on their powers, like this one, who explodes. It's unstable radiation and whatnot. And they're trying to fix that. We see the ladybug child, who I could not care about any more than I already did. But now, she's the one who's just wants to go home. She wants to go see her parents. And they're dead. They're dead, and her actual mentor bought the farm, and even she is, like, she's an elder lady, so time has moved on, and her parents are gone. They didn't get to know that she was alive. They didn't know that she was anywhere. Time has stopped for her, but it moved on for everyone else. And, yeah. And then it turns out, like, one thing that's alive that remembers her is the bee. The bee named Michael, who they said was, like, still sticking around, still looking for. Bees live for about 3 days. So, this is a miracle. This is a miracle in itself. But good miracle. Sometimes the universe throws us a bone. But really did feel bad for her. Really did feel bad. John Henry Irons gets to meet his grandfather's brother, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to the family. Damage gets to meet his predecessor. Quiz Kid's like, so, Mr. Terrific, I love the place, or I think it's called Mr. Holt. I've got some ideas for your T-Spheres. I'm like, these two right here, they're going to make some stuff. I expect these books, I expect them to be decent at best. I'm hoping they'll be phenomenal. They probably more likely won't be. But anyway, so Huntress and Power Girl meet up. This is technically Power Girl's third Huntress. DC's fourth, if I'm getting it correctly. So there's the Huntress in the 1970s from the original Earth 2 that, like Power Girl, ended up in this Earth. Then there's the other Earth 2 Power Girl from New 52, who was, Robin, ended up here because of the whole events with Darkseid. Like, Earth 2 New 52 was an interesting book that just went to pot at World's End. But anyway. And now we have this one. Also the fourth one, Helena Bertinelli, who is just Huntress in this Earth. Sometimes sleeps with Dick Grayson. Also really wants to prove something to Batman. Has probably also slept with Batman. Does not get along well with Barbara Gordon. Primarily because she slept with Dick Grayson and possibly wanted to sleep with Batman. It's a whole thing. But anyway, so they're talking about what to do here. Karen, with her new red jacket, which love the jacket. But hey, what we should do? She's like, hey, in the future we had our own JSA team, all right, of reformed bad guys. I think we're all thinking this is a stupid idea. Let's not do that. She's like, no. Hear me out. We can still do it. We can still make something great out of our JSA that doesn't exist anymore. Because timey-wimey, but I remember it. And we got to start with our best guy, Solomon Grundy. I'm like, I thought this was the last issue, but it's not. So yeah. And so let's go with Solomon Grundy. Grundy, I think people think of Solomon Grundy as just this hulking behemoth who goes through talking about Solomon and Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, blah, 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 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and whatnot, So every time Grundy dies, quote unquote, he'll come back, and he'll usually come back as he is, but sometimes he'll come back frightening. i.e., the tornado's path. And Grundy in a suit is a different kind of beast altogether. But whatever. It's their life. It's their life. I trust John's. Whatever. So anyway, JSA of America might be my favorite issue here. Like, I wasn't that invested in the 100 story. It didn't feel like how it was built up and the lead up to this. Like when Jeff Johns talks about the book, I felt like we were going to see like the real history of the JSA, what it means to the DC universe, what it means in that continuity, outside of we stop Nazis, which, to be fair, very important, very important. We should all stop Nazis. Didn't quite matter. Like when I think of the JSA, outside of fighting cosmic threats, I think of them doing the sort of pancake breakfast and recruiting new generation of superheroes to make a better generation of superheroes. Like the Justice League is where the heavy hitters go, all right, where those big high-profile heroes go. The JSA is where you go to learn to be a hero, to learn what it means to stand for something, learn what it means to stand for community, or the importance of legacy. All of that is there in the JSA. To me, like reading Jeff Johns, what was his second run with the JSA, it felt like fairy tale. Like when I like fairy tale, like those big pages of just the guild, and there were like these really cool pages of the JSA then too. You just see all these different people talking and interacting, planning things. And sometimes it was missions, sometimes it was lunch, sometimes it was a date. It was all really fun. This wasn't here for that, so who knows? Who knows? But overall, real fun. Like to see more. This is Green Lantern issue 3. I am so happy to be back with this book because oh my god, let's stop. Let's just Night Terror. So anyway, so Sinestro's back. Sinestro's back, ladies and gentlemen, and nothing is ever bad when Sinestro's back. For us, the reader. For Hal, it can vary. But anyway, so this story picks up after the events of Night Terror. So pretty much Hal Jordan is falling because his ring's out of charge somehow. The current status of how the Green Lantern ring works is kind of weird. So when we last saw Hal Jordan with a ring, it was a ring he created from his own willpower. And that was cool. That was great. It was a big deal. And so now it seems like he has a ring that isn't that, but I don't know. So anyway, he gets it to work. He's able to fly, test it out again. He's able to turn this gazelle one color, then make it giant. And yeah, now it's chasing down predators. He's, caused problems. So then we cut to Coast City at 3:59 Pacific Standard Time. And Sinestro's going into this building like, hey guys, I want something. And like, what's going on? What's going on? And Sinestro's like, yeah, I know exactly who you guys are, so stop it. So yeah, there are these aliens. They try to rush Sinestro. Sinestro's like, you thought, you know who I am. I'm Sinestro. And he's like, look, I need a favor. You're going to help me, and the Legion of Doom will gladly compensate you. And they point out the Legion of Doom is pretty much disbanded. Your leader, Lex, is in jail and surrendered his company. Well, actually, he gave his company to Superman. So, Supercore is still a thing, patent pending. It's a good point. That's a good point. So, it's like, yeah, you're still going to help me. So, they go help. And at Ferris Aircraft, Sinestro goes down and raises hell, kills some people, and he destroys some jets. So yeah, this is clearly something about Hal, because Ferris Air is where Hal works. Also, he knows Carol. Like, Sinestro has a history with Carol Ferris. Alright? Because remember, at one point, Carol Ferris was a Lantern. She was a Star Sapphire, and it was really interesting. Well, it was alright. But it was nice to see, like, Hal's girlfriend understood his life to this extent. So anyway, Hal is currently serving as a pitcher for the local baseball team, which I think is great. The hometown heroes, bringing in the goodness. And it's important to note that most of the Green Lanterns of Earth, Hal, John, Guy, those three, are public figures. Like, people know that they are the Green Lantern. I don't think they know Hal's the Green Lantern. But they know Guy was, and they know John Stewart was. So anyway, so they go in, they make the pitch, and it's some fun baseball, knock it out of the park. And I think it's just a good way to sort of show how Hal operates in his new life now. So he gets a text from Carol, and I've never felt more like Hal Jordan in this moment. He gets a text from Carol, i.e. the girl he likes, quote unquote loves. Well, he does love Carol, but he wants to get back at her. So he's like, okay, yeah, let's say she wants to dump her fiance, get back with me. Great. Who doesn't hope that the girl they like is like, you know what? I'm not feeling this dude. We're just not clicking anymore. I want to hang. I want to be with you now. Like, Hal wants that. He goes down, talks to him. Carol's like, get in the plane, and she's like, yeah. So this happened. Like, oh no, oh no. So Hal's like, crap. He's thinking about his fight with Sinestro. Presumably the last time he saw Sinestro, and next thing you know, there's Sinestro in the bar. Like, hey Hal, what you doing? And that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, Green Lantern issue 3, I think, would have been better had it been directly after issue 2. In other words, not stopping from Night Terrors, because it does feel like we sort of missed something here, but in reality we haven't. Night Terrors didn't reveal anything that we didn't already know about Hal outside of the whole Jewish thing, but like the issue is like Hal's religion is not like Daredevil's religion. In other words, it doesn't shape who he is going forward. Daredevil is very much defined by being Catholic, like it's like a big part of his character. With Hal, no. But whatever. Sinestro being back is the big problem, though. There's never been a moment when Sinestro was just that guy. All right, no, he's always been him for Hal. All right, he's always been this person that Hal thought he could like, thought he could trust, thought he could be friends with, and to some level, they are friends. But first and foremost, they have been enemies. All right, it is Sinestro in a lot of ways is like Count Dooku in Star Wars. He sees the problems of the Guardians, except the difference is Sinestro is able to affect better change than Dooku. Dooku's entire plan was to sell himself to someone who he'd spent his entire life believing was the enemy, and still believed he was the enemy. Like, TCW did not do Dooku any favors, but the fact that he just constantly follows Sidious is pretty much consistent with his character. But in the old EU, he was like, one day, it's not going to work. He's had to address the fact that Ventress told him, like, one day, Sidious is going to throw you away. He's going to let you go. He doesn't care about you. And Dooku had that thought. At one point he thought, like, I could just leave right now, leave this whole war behind. He's like, nah, I'll be fine. Sinestro is Count Dooku, but effective. Because he does impact change. He does change the Green Lantern Corps for the better. Even as their enemy. Dooku never affected any meaningful change. And Sinestro does. That's why Sinestro is so dangerous. He is, in some ways, DC's Doctor Doom. Alright? And I love him for it. I love him. So, yeah, overall, fun. All fun. I look forward to seeing where this goes off. Hal versus Sinestro. Get more glimpses as to why Hal is on Earth and what's going on with his life now. So, yeah, that'll be fun. World's Finest Teen Titans. They're at Titans Con. Alright, because, yeah. Calling all Titans fans. So anyway. So if you recall last issue, after helping this poor teenage girl with her psychic powers, they then get alerted that, hey, they've been invited to Titans Con. A con about them. It's weird that they didn't really start this. But anyway. So they go through, and everyone's really excited, happy to be there for the most part. They're all sort of surprised by the fanfare, and everyone just sort of swamping them, as well as all the cosplays and the merch that, I hope they've approved of. This reminds me of that scene in Space Jam, when, the first one, when Bugs and Daffy are talking about all that merchandise, those mugs and hugs and t-shirts with our faces on them. You ever see money from that? Not a cent. I was like, so anyway, one kid wonders, hey, where's Robin? And it turns out Robin decided not to go. All right, and Batman's like, I'd like to thank you for not going. All right, because you're not going. And Dick is of the opinion that it's a very dangerous situation to go in. Too many people, and where they go, if they have enemies, they can put all those other lives in danger. But the problem is, it's not easy for Dick to make that change, because remember, he was an acrobat. All right, he was in the circus, the Flying Graysons. He's used to being in the spotlight. He's used to putting on a show. Now he has to put that aside to be the leader. And yeah, it's very Batman in some lines. Like, you know what? I'm gonna stay here. All right, no, too dangerous. Meanwhile, everyone else is at the con, having fun, doing the thing. And there's even a panel discussing Wonder Girl. And this is pretty much, I think, one of the best parts about this. So they're talking about, hey, what exactly is Wonder Girl? Is she this strong, independent woman, this free-thinking character, this this male fantasy? Even saying, why can't you just be independent and nuanced? And so the girl's like, you shut up. I'm like, okay. It's legitimately the entire con experience, says a man who's never been to a con. But that is that internet discourse. Like, what is this character? Can she just be this? Can she just be that? And you've got people who really don't get respecting boundaries, which also means there's someone in there that stank. Alright? So they get through. They actually, like, almost rip off Bumblebee's mask, and she's, like, not having it. She's freaking out. She looks at, and one says, you have to promise me you're not going to let that happen. Alright, so there's something else going on here. Someone who has no real idea about the Titans. This is fun for me. But anyway. So they're going through. Roy is having the time of his life, showing off. Yeah, because of course he is. And then, I believe his name is Sherman. Sherman is that guy who's obsessed with his waifu, which happens to be Bumblebee. And because he really wants his waifu, he has left his basement. I kid you not. He was in the basement. He's studied magic, and he wants to save her so they can be together. Like, oh my god, the cringe. The cringe. Mark Waid has taken his time at cons and is like, okay. Like, this isn't everybody at a con, but you know him. And so he goes through, uses magic, creates giant Donna Troys, creates Batmobiles. He's like, I'll take you, Bumblebee. Aqualad comes in with, like, this toy lightsaber, like, yeah, I'll fight this and whatnot. And we're running from Batmobiles and whatnots. Robin shows up like, oh my god, how are you all bad at this? Alright, he's a magic user. He uses his hands for the magic. Bind his hands. He throws his Robin cup. And the handcuff went, yeah, look at that, problem solved. Why are you all bad at this? So, day is saved. Sweaty Boy goes off after getting the old left hook. Love it. He still hasn't let go of the fact, no, it's you and me, Bumblebee. You and me. Two of hearts. I love you, girl. Oh, another reason for me never to go to a con. But anyway, I probably will. But whatever. Anyway. So, outside Metropolis where this con was held, old Sherman, I'm going to call him Sherman until I remember his name. I'm not going to remember his name. He gets picked up. I was like, hey man, look, I get it. Your waifu turned you down. And the real solution would be for you to step into reality, touch grass, accept the fact that you can't force someone to like you. Wait for that beard to grow in properly, get a decent haircut, not like I wouldn't wear that myself, but still, find other hobbies, touch grass, man. Like, no, instead of that, I got a job for you. And that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, World's Finest Teen Titans is fun. It's like there's no real big story moment. There's more of just like this commentary on fandoms. And fair enough. There's just always room for commentary on things in comic books, fandoms being one of them. It's alright. It's not groundbreaking. Had this been the post-Fear State story, also would have stopped issue 3. I think it would still be alright, still be the same. There's more talk about how Dick Grayson feels about all this, having to sort of be the bad guy in all this. Roy seeming totally oblivious to how other people feel. Bumblebee had her moment, but overall it was just a fun adventure, seeing all these fans. Like, you've seen them 1,000 times. Like, hey, they love the cosplays, they love talking about the characters. That's what I'm doing. So that was fun. I thought it was a bit messed up that the fandom's like, Garth doesn't deserve Donna Troy. I'm like, dude, he's right there. Alright? He's right there. Yeah, they're two different people. He's a bit more introverted, she's more extroverted. Sure. But don't act like... Don't put him down like that. So anyway, overall that was fun. This was a decent week for comics. This was actually not last week's comics. I just got to jump on it. And, put out a lot of videos this month. So, yeah. Anyway, with that in mind, let's bring this to a close. What did you guys think about these books? You like them? Did you hate them? I like the Teen Titans Con. I'm hoping more from the JSA going forward. I don't know how long Jeff Johns is going to be in this capacity, because I know I think he's still doing something else. So who knows? Green Lantern, it's been decent, but I'm hoping Sinestro will help elevate this. I want to figure out what's going on here, because I read Jeffrey Thorne's Green Lantern. You're not missing much except for the end. Like, the overpoints of Jon Stewart, as much as I love Jon Stewart, did not feel necessary to me. I like a story that involves Hal, John, and Guy together, and Kyle. But at least 3 of them have to be together. Also, bring back the Green Lantern Corps books again. Like, do a story with Guy and Kyle and other members of the Lantern Corps. Make it feel lived in. I think that's something missing from comics today. Or at least, DC Comics. Like, a lot of these worlds, and Marvel to an extent, a lot of these stories don't feel like lived in anymore. That's a video topic. Anyway, let's just bring some closer. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the fun little algorithmy things, and I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom